Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Mooresville Ford. We're going to take a look at one of their 2022 Ford F-150s. This is the Tremor edition, so huge shout out to them for providing this full-size truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The F-150 that you see behind me is finished off in Oxford white with an MSRP just over $72,000. And to start off today's review, let's look at what powers this F-150. Underneath the hood is the 3.5 liter EcoBoost 6-cylinder engine that's paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 400 horsepower around 6,000 RPM and 500 pound-feet of torque around 3,100 RPM. That power sent to the rear wheels. This truck does also have the 4-wheel drive system. It weighs in just under 5,000 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, up to its top speed of 120 miles an hour. There's also two different fuel capacities. With the extended range of 36 gallons, you can expect this to get around 16 miles per gallon in the city and 20 miles per gallon out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 135.4 inches. Its overall length is 231.7. It has a width of 79.9. A height of 78.2, its ground clearance measures in at 10.4 inches, and it also has an approach angle of 27.6 degrees, a breakover angle of 21.2 degrees, and a departure angle of 24.3 degrees. And now as we move on to the exterior styling for this F-150, let's start off with the Ford badge front and center. This has an integrated forward-facing camera nicely placed underneath that to provide you better visibility when you take this off the pavement, as well as having the forward-facing parking sensors. You can see for the Tremor edition, all of the brushed gold trim running right through the middle of the grille, as well as on the two lower tow hooks. This even has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. And the DRL has a really distinctive design running on the outer section of the headlights and the high beams. It's split with the bodywork right in the middle and even runs underneath the LED fog lights in the lower section. There's plenty of cutouts as well to provide a lot of cooling to this engine, both in the upper grille, right in the middle. There's also some cutouts in that black trim piece that you can see in between the bodywork. And then just behind the license plate bracket, there's also another cutout as well as active grille shutters, again to help provide better cooling and aerodynamics. There's a really nice trim piece in the lower section in between those tow hooks, as I mentioned earlier. And this even has really aggressive lines on the hood with some black trim pieces on both sides, just to give it more of that aggressive truck appearance. But it has a great front end design. I love how large the headlight housings are, matches nicely with the grille. And you can tell right in the middle of the headlight housings, there's even more of the amber color just to match nicely with that trim piece running right through the middle. And as we move on to the side profile now, for this Tremor edition, it has a 1-inch lift over a factory F-150, as well as having 1 inch more travel for the front and the rear suspension. This has a nice set of 18-inch wheels with a dark finish wrapped in a 33-inch tire, which also provides this truck with a 1-inch wider stance. So it's nice to see there are some functions to this to be able to take this off the pavement. The Tremor suspension is built for off-road, so it's nice to see that they have a specific suspension for this Tremor edition. Really nice lines are on the fender flares, both in the front and the rear. This has a beefy set of running boards, not only to help you get in and out of the truck, but also to act somewhat as a rock slider. So if you do take this off the pavement, you have plenty of protection underneath the side of this truck. This also has body-colored side mirrors with the turn signal, the integrated camera, as well as spotlights too, so you can use this at night if you need to. There's a full moonroof up top. All of the window trim is blacked out. More of that gold trim on the Tremor badge, as well as the functional trim piece just underneath it. Really nice lines run in the lower section of this truck as well. And with the shorter bed, it gives it a great side proportional design. The Tremor logo is also on the side of the bed, finished off in that bronze color. And then moving on to the rear now, this has a backup camera. The Ford badge is right in the middle. F-150 is stamped in the lower section, as well as having the Tremor badge on the side. All of the parking sensors are in the body colored portion of the bumper, as well as having the dual exhaust on both sides. And with this 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine, it has a maximum towing capacity right around 14,000 pounds. However, for the Tremor edition, this is closer to 10,000 pounds with a payload capacity just under 2,000 pounds. So it's a very capable full-size truck. Making our way to the cargo area now, if I just push on that button, this does have the soft opening tailgate. And then with the shorter bed, there is plenty of room in the back of this bed for any items that you like to place. There's tie-down hooks, as well as a cargo light, even a 3-prong outlet, so you can hook up equipment that you may have for the day. And then moving on to this tailgate, it's nice that there's some conversions here for the tape measure. If you have any wood or any items that you need to measure, you can place them on the tailgate. There's even a spot here for a water bottle, tape measure. We have a pen holder, anything you'd like to place, you have the option for it. And this even has the tailgate step, which is very, very helpful. If you're using this as a work truck, it makes it very convenient to get in and out of the bed, especially if you're doing it a lot through the day. And it's very easy to lower the step as well as pull out the handle, and then it's the reverse process to put everything back into the tailgate. This even has clamps on both sides, so if you do have wood, you can place a clamp on the inside of this tailgate to safely secure it, which is a really cool option to see. And then this is a very light tailgate, so even with one hand, I can easily close it up. And now we can go ahead and move on to the back seats now. This has a really nice door panel. There's even orange stitching to match the exterior accents, leather on the armrest, as well as this insert on the back section, another trim piece just above one cup holder. There's even more trim with the release handle on the back section. This has the upgraded Bang and Olufson sound system with brushed aluminum on that cover. There's even a split style for the storage. There's a lot in the lower section, a little bit right in the middle if you need to utilize that. And then at 5'10", I can make my way into these back seats where they have a very cool two-tone design. Tremor is right in the middle, more of that orange stitching, even with a perforated insert where you can see a little bit more of that orange. There's even orange piping on the sides. And with that running board and grab handle, I can easily make my way up into this truck. And I have plenty of room with the front seat set at my height, which is 5'10" again. And I have a few inches above my head. Full-size adults could fit in the back, so it's nice to see that there's an ample amount of room for your backseat passengers in this full-size truck. This has the automatic window, so you can slide that open and closed. Right in the middle is the armrest, as well as two cup holders if you need to use that. And then right in the middle, there's a cup holder on both sides, a little bit of storage in the middle. You could place your phone if needed. This even has heated rear seats, so those controls are on both sides, along with a 12 volt. There's an air vent on both sides, even a 3-prong outlet, a USB and a USB-C. So your backseat passengers have a lot of amenities, which is great to see. And what I love about the back seats for this F-150, if I pull on this tab, I can actually lift the bottom up. There's a storage divider where you can place smaller items on one side and a really nice flat surface. If you need to use this for interior storage, you can lift up both bottoms of each seat. There's no bump in the middle, so you can place in larger items if you need to. And before we move our way to the front seats, this does have remote start. So if I double tap on this button, it will automatically fire up. We'll get some exhaust clips here in just a little bit. And if you do need to shut it off, you can double tap that button. You can also use the key fob to lower the tailgate if you need to. And with the truck unlocked, you'll see the power mirrors automatically fold out. This even has the exterior keypad, so you can use that to lock and unlock the truck, as well as the door handle itself. And the door panel is just like the rear, a lot more storage in the lower section, as well as right in the middle. All of the window controls, the side mirror adjustments, even the memory seating adjustments are located up top. More of that trim piece, really nice design to see. We have the same pattern for these front seats with Tremor right in the middle. Even the Bang and Olufson logo is up in the headrest with some perforations. Really cool to see that. We have the side step as well as a grab handle, so this is in all four corners, so that way all of your passengers can easily enter and exit. And the steering wheel is completely covered in solid black leather with more of that orange stitching. But now it's time to fire this truck back up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on this right side, and we can bring this to life. And coming back to this digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the tach, on the right side is the miles per hour. On the upper section is some fixed information like the fuel gauge and some other engine vitals. And right in the middle, there's a lot more information that you can go through. Using these buttons on the right side of the steering wheel, we have a few in the middle. There's also Bluetooth and tuning, and even a menu button as well. But currently you can see my view. If I click on that, this is what you can configure. So you can pull up some information that you'd like to see by using this configure option here. So it's basically a shortcut to any of the important information that you'd like to see. You can pull up your trip and fuel, truck information, go into the towing, so you can configure this as needed. Depending on the number of trailers that you have, you need to look at your status as well as your driving assistance for that. Really quick to pull that up. You can pull up navigation as well as phone and audio and go through any settings just depending on how you'd like to set this up. And then over on the left side is all of the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings with the distance pacing, the voice commands, even volume for the radio. And over on the left side, all the way at the bottom is a pedal adjustment. So I can use this to bring them closer to me or farther away just to be more comfortable. There's the electronic parking brake as well as the headlight and fog light adjustments. There's even a light in the bed so you can turn on that rear cargo light. dimmer switches for the gauges. You can lower the tailgate. There's even the spotlight controls, which I mentioned earlier, for the side mirrors, and you can easily turn those on and off. There's more of that trim on one side of this air vent, even more of that trim that was over on the door panel. Really nice stitching running across the gauge cluster as well. Plenty of storage up top where you can place your phone or other items. And then right in the middle, we have this massive touchscreen system that offers a lot of information. On the lower section, everything is fixed here, so it's quick shortcuts to get to your audio. You can pull up your phone, go into the navigation and view that map. There's even favorites that you can configure, so you can have everything set here that you like to. We can go into the apps for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, go into all of these settings just so you can configure them how you'd like to. There's even features like the zone lighting, which is a part of the spotlights on the side mirrors that I mentioned earlier, and you can turn those on. You can turn all of these zones on. It's really cool to see that function. We have the trail turn assist as well, even towing features. And then over on the right side, you can go through some more information and have this split style going. So let's say you have the navigation on this left side. You can still go through all of this just depending on what you'd like to see, so you don't have to hide the navigation if you need to pull up some other information. And then on the very top, if we start over on this right side, this is for a trail control. So it's basically like cruise control for off-road. Really cool to see that. You have one pedal driving basically. There's traction control as well as the hazards. The parking sensors can be turned on and off. And then there's even a shortcut to the camera system. So let's talk about that, where the top-down view is on the right side. Currently, we have the forward-facing camera on this left side. And if I go to these icons up top, we can pull up a lot of the angles just depending on what you'd like to see. There's even a hitch setting, so if you're backing up to a trailer hitch, you can easily see that. Very cool to have all of that. And this even has the auto park brake that you can turn on and off as well. On both sides of that screen, there's an air vent. Over on this left side is the Pro Trailer system. So if you've never backed up a trailer or you need a little bit of assistance, this will aid you in being able to back up correctly. Over on the right side in that same spot, there's a button here. This is for the upper glove box, so it's nice to see that. Plenty of space for some smaller items. And then coming back to the left, we have the drive select for your four-wheel drive, as well as the locking rear diff. There's a trailer brake. Over on this right side, there's a 12 volt. There's even another 3-prong outlet. And then right in the middle, there's volume and tuning for the radio. If I push on this button here, there's 3 different settings that you can see for the center screen, just depending on what you'd like to have shown. There's some other audio adjustments. All of the climate controls are also nicely laid out with the fan speed right in the middle. This has heated and ventilated front seats, as well as having a heated steering wheel. Temperature dials are on the driver and passenger side, as this does have a dual zone climate, and there's more controls just above that, giving it a really nice look. As we make our way below that, we have more of that trim piece, and if I open this up, there's a wireless charging port, as well as a USB, and a little bit of storage space if you need to use that. There's 2 cup holders over on the right side with a small storage bin right in the middle. And then looking at the leather wrap shifter, something very cool to see for this truck. If I push on this button, that will automatically fold flat, allowing you to flip up the center console to have a flat surface. If you need to place your laptop, any documents that you may have, really cool to see that, especially if you have a lot of seat time in this truck. Gives you a really cool place to put that. You do have to be in park, obviously, in order to do that. And then when we bring this back up, I can quickly go into drive. There's a manual button as well, so that way you can use plus and minus. If you're towing or off-road, that allows you to hold a gear. We have reverse, as you've already seen that, and then park is all the way to the back. And then up underneath the center armrest, if I open this up, there's a massive amount of room with a removable tray if you need to get that out of the way. So it's nice to see that functionality for this truck. And then there's a second glove box underneath, giving you all of the space that you need for those items. We'll take another look at this interior. Really cool to see all of this orange accents. And then up top in the headliner, there's all of these auxiliary buttons. So if you have compressors, lights, anything that you'd like to hook up, there's a factory location where you can place them. Really neat to see that. There's even a sunglass holder, which is convenient. We have all of the adjustments for the rear glass, as well as the sunroof. I can quickly open that up. The dome lights are up top as well. And then we'll get a look with the sunroof opened up all the way. It provides a lot of light for this interior. Really nice to see that for this truck. We have the sunroof adjustments as well, and then the rear view mirrors right in the middle. As we get this 2022 Ford F-150 Tremor out on the road now, this is a really cool option, especially if you need something where you're going to be leaving the pavement every now and then. We have a little bit higher of a truck, more ground clearance, all of the 4-wheel drive modes, the rear locker. This is a pretty cool trim level to go with. And I really like the fact that the interior is ultra luxurious in my opinion. It's still a pickup truck, but we have a lot of nice features that make this daily driver friendly. Massive screen right in the middle with a lot of information to go through, as you've already seen. Really easy to go through everything else underneath it. But I love that we even have the full radar cruise, so that makes it more convenient. If you're stuck in traffic, you can quickly set that, pace the car in front of you, it will brake and gas for you, which is really nice. Heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. This makes you want to daily drive this truck. Even if you're not towing a lot and you just need a pickup truck, you need to use the bed every now and then, and it's something that you'd like to have. I love how comfortable this Tremor suspension is. It's been handling this road very well. I'm not doing anything crazy, obviously, but even with this road, it's absorbing all these bumps very well. We have a little bit more travel, so it's going to be a little bit softer, which is also why the towing is a little bit less than a standard F-150 because of that suspension. But it's a balance between what you're using the truck for and how much you need to tow. So it's great that you have a lot of options from Ford depending on how you're actually going to use your F-150. So with this 3.5 liter EcoBoost engine, let's give it a little bit of gas with an empty truck here. And we are up to speed. Light on the acceleration for a new truck, but we got up just like that. It's a quick truck, and I really like the fact that we have this usable center console. Now, Ford has listened to their owners. A lot of people who have Fords use this daily, use it as a work truck. They need a nice flat surface in the driver's seat. If you're spending a lot of time in this driver's seat, you're at job sites, you're needing to work on something before you go to the next job site, as I showed earlier, you can flip that up. Even if you're just using it for food or whatever you may have, it's really cool to see. This is pretty much the only truck I've seen that has this option. And now as we switch over to the POV angle for this F-150 Tremor, light on that acceleration up to speed. If I really needed to punch it, this would get up and move. I have no complaints with the power output for this engine. And you can take a look at this interior. Very, very nice to see for a work truck like this. We can test out the handling for a truck, just going at a normal speed. And then plenty of power to get back up and moving. This is a very, very nice truck. I love this interior too, with all of the orangish yellow trim that you see both on the exterior and the interior. Really ties in nicely, gives it a great look. And a view at visibility from this angle, quickly see over that right shoulder, same with the left shoulder. No issues with that. And I love that you can take this off-road. The trail control is a really cool feature because it allows you not only to use one pedal, but you can set the off-road cruise control basically at a lower rate of speed than you would out on the pavement. So if you're really crawling 0.5 miles an hour or less, you can utilize that button, set that. You don't even have to touch the brake. You can just use one pedal and take it off-road. Makes it a little bit nicer to be able to drive, just depending on the conditions that you're in. So it's great to see that you can utilize this truck and really take it anywhere depending on what you're doing for the day. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive, getting behind the wheel of this 2022 Ford F-150 Tremor. Once again, huge shout out to Mooresville Ford for providing this truck for me today. Make sure you check out their website. All that info is down in the description. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I'll see you all in the next video.